This is the best crime movie of 2024. What happens when a retired Special Forces soldier is bullied by a cop to the point of no return? The man was riding with his headphones on and didn't hear the sirens behind him. Then he was hit by a police car and knocked to the ground. The cops said his bike was stolen. Then they check his file and find no criminal record. But the cops wouldn't let up and searched his bag. They found $30,000. Mike immediately explained that the money was for his brother's bail in court. The two policemen were instantly interested. It turns out that your brother has been charged with contraband. Then we have reason to suspect that your money is stolen. So we will detain the money according to the law. If you don't comply with the judgment and try to get the money back, then we'll come after you with a warrant and put you in a holding cell. If you don't press charges, then we won't bother you again. Faced with the police's behavior, which is basically a robbery, he had no choice but to give in, because the most important thing for him now is to bail out his brother. His brother is also a witness. If he's transferred to the state prison, the people who convicted him will take revenge on him. And when he arrived at the small town courthouse, the staff told him he couldn't make bail without the money. Mike explained that the money had been withheld by the police and produced a receipt. The stamp on it was exactly the same as the one in this office. The staff told him that bail was only for money. He was then approached by a nice lady lawyer, and when she found out what was going on, she told Mike that the small town cops were exploiting a loophole in the justice system. He has some certainty that he will win the lawsuit, but the process can take up to 2 years. She advised Michael to get the money for his brother's bail, because in 3 days, his brother was going to state prison. So the next day he went to the police to report that he'd been robbed, and it wasn't long before the cop came over. He said that Mike had filed a false report, and that's when the chief came over. We've been very polite to people like you who are suspected of drug trafficking. Mike saw that there was no way out, so he said he only wanted $10,000 for bail. The rest of the money is a gift to them. He promised that he wouldn't make trouble in the future. The commissioner's attitude immediately changed for the better. He promised to meet his brother here on Monday morning. He came to the police station as promised, but the commissioner told him your brother had already been picked up because you were 3 minutes late. Mike pedaled as fast as he could to catch up with his brother. Then he told him not to blow his cover in jail. He'd get the money to get him out on bail as soon as possible. And that conversation turned out to be the last time the two brothers saw each other. Then he called his former partner to borrow $10,000, but the commissioner had already seized his restaurant. The reason why the commissioner pretended to agree with Mike that day, he was using the last few days to investigate him, and now he's closing down his restaurant in the name of a drug raid. He couldn't figure out why they were pushing him to the brink, so he went to the police station alone, and the police station just happened to receive his encrypted file. He was actually a special forces instructor. The chief panicked when he heard that, but he was no match for Mike.